Have you ever offered your toddler something they actually like and they still shouted no? You offer the banana they asked for. No. You say it's time to wear shoes. No. You say, do you want to go outside? Also, no. And at some point you start wondering, is my child being difficult on purpose? But here's the surprising truth. Your toddler's no is often not about disrespect. It is usually about development. That tiny word is one of the first tools your child discovers for saying, I am my own person. For the first time, your toddler is realizing, I can want something different from you. That is a huge developmental step. But there is one problem. Their need for independence is growing much faster than their ability to manage emotions, wait, explain themselves, or handle limits. So instead of saying, I feel tired and I don't want to stop playing yet, they say, no. Instead of saying, this transition feels too sudden, they say, no. Instead of saying, I want some control over my day, they say, no. To an adult, it can sound rude, but inside a toddler's brain, something much bigger is happening. Toddlers are learning autonomy. Autonomy means I can make choices, I have preferences, I can affect what happens around me. This is why your toddler may refuse help one minute and demand help the next. They may scream because you peeled the banana wrong. They may cry because you gave them the blue cup instead of the red one. They may refuse to put on shoes even though they really want to go outside. It looks irrational. But development is not always neat. The toddler brain is under construction. The emotional part of the brain reacts quickly, but the thinking and self-control parts are still very immature. That means your toddler may feel a strong emotion before they can pause and think. They may resist before they even understand why. They may say no automatically because it gives them a small sense of power in a world where adults decide almost everything. When to wake up, what to wear, where to go, when to leave, when to eat, when to sleep. So sometimes, no simply means, I want to have a say. This does not mean parents should let toddlers decide everything. Toddlers still need limits. They need safety. They need routines. They need adults to stay calm and lead. But how we give those limits matters, because when every small moment becomes a battle, toddlers often resist even more. Imagine this. A parent says, put your shoes on. The toddler says, no. The parent says, I said, put your shoes on. The toddler says, no. Now the child is not just reacting to the shoes. They are reacting to the pressure, the sudden change, and the feeling of losing control. A more helpful approach is to give a limit with a small choice. You can wear the red shoes or the blue shoes. The adult is still in charge. Shoes are still happening, but the toddler gets a small piece of control. And for many toddlers, that small piece makes a big difference. Another powerful tool is the first then phrase. First shoes, then outside. First bath, then story. First diaper, then cuddles. Toddlers understand simple, clear language much better than long explanations. When a toddler is upset, this is not the best time for a lecture. Their brain is already overloaded. A calm, short sentence usually works better than 5 minutes of reasoning. You can also name the feeling without removing the limit. I hear you. You don't want bath time. Pause. Bath is still happening. This helps your child feel understood while also learning that feelings do not always change the boundary. That is an important life lesson. A child can be upset and the parent can still be kind. A child can protest and the limit can still hold. A child can say no and the adult does not have to panic. One big reason toddlers say no is because transitions are hard. Moving from one activity to another takes mental flexibility, and toddlers are still learning that skill. So when you suddenly say, time to leave the park, your toddler may feel like their whole world has been interrupted. They were not finished. Their brain was deeply focused. They did not choose to change. So the no may really mean, I need more time. This is why transition warnings can help. In 2 minutes, we are leaving. One more slide, then we go. Say bye-bye to the toys. These little rituals help the toddler's brain prepare for change. They do not prevent every meltdown, but they often reduce the shock. Another reason toddlers say no is limited language. Adults have many words for discomfort. I am overwhelmed. I am disappointed. I am hungry. I am overstimulated. I don't understand what you want. Toddlers may not have those words yet, so no becomes a shortcut. It can mean almost anything. That is why it helps to look underneath the word. Is the child tired, hungry, overstimulated, rushed, confused, needing connection, wanting control? Sometimes the best response is not to argue with the no. It is to understand the need behind it. For example, if your toddler refuses to get dressed every morning, the real issue may not be clothing. It may be the rushed routine. Too many steps, too much talking, not enough predictability. A warm facial routine, fewer choices, and a slower start may help more than repeating, "Get dressed," 10 times. And here is something important. Not every no needs a big reaction. Sometimes toddlers repeat words because they notice they get attention. If every no turns into a dramatic negotiation, the word becomes even more powerful. A calm response teaches something different. You don't want the coat. I hear you. It's cold, so the coat goes on. Simple. Warm, firm, no shame. No long argument. No need to prove who's in charge. Because parenting a toddler is not about winning power struggles. It's about teaching a young child how to handle limits, choices, and emotions. So what is normal? It is normal for toddlers to say no often. It is normal for them to test limits. It is normal for them to want independence and still need help. It is normal for them to have big reactions to small things. That does not mean it is easy. But it does mean your child is not automatically being bad, spoiled, or defiant. They are learning. And learning self-control takes time. What deserves more attention? If the resistance is extreme all day, every day, if your child seems constantly distressed, if there are major changes in sleep, eating, language, or behavior, if aggression is frequent or unsafe, or if you feel completely overwhelmed and unsupported, it may be worth speaking with a pediatrician, child development specialist, or licensed professional. Not because one behavior proves something is wrong, but because support can help you understand what your child needs. So the next time your toddler says no to everything, try to pause for a moment. Instead of hearing only defiance, listen for development. Your child may be saying, "I want control. I need more time. I don't have the words yet. This feeling is too big. I need you to help me through this." The goal is not to erase the word no. The goal is to help your child learn that they can have feelings, choices, and limits at the same time. They can be heard and still be guided. They can be independent and still feel safe. They can say no and slowly, with your help, learn better ways to say what they really mean.